Hi people, it's Archivist here, and today I'm still playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, and you know what, today, Saturday the 2nd of November, I've had a pretty good day on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I found as if last weekend I was getting quite frustrated at the game, lots of very, very good players, and I didn't really feel like I was very competitive. I just felt like I was getting stomped in so many of the games I was playing, but now after playing, I don't know, about 10 matches today, a mix of 10v10 and ground war, I'm up to now a KD overall of 1.6, and you know what, 1.6 is very much my overall speed, to be honest guys. That is close to what I had in Infinite Warfare, where I think I was at 1.8 or something to that effect, and I really enjoyed that game, so that's great. However, in order to get there, I feel as if I've done a few things that I'm not super proud of. And I think the first one is using the M4A1. Now, I need to slam the brakes on there and say, look, if you use the M4A1, I am not having a go at all. Because to be honest, unless I was aware of the community on YouTube, I wouldn't even know this gun was considered overpowered. Because as I use it, it just feels, I don't know, like super balanced. Yes, it kills really quickly and it's very accurate, but so are a lot of the guns in this game. Like the Kilo is pretty damn good as well. In fact, there are lots of situations I prefer the Kilo. I think it's just the M4A1 excels in the most situations. And in using it, I have admittedly found myself winning a hell of a lot of 1v1 fights, where before I don't think I would have done. Another thing I've started doing where I can is I start firing before I'm actually aiming at the enemy. So say I'm doing my aim down the sight and I know that I'm not going to immediately snap to them, I start firing anyway, because I know that that means the moment I am tracking them, I'll start dealing damage, and considering how low the time to kill is, it just seems to be very effective. And a lot of the time I'm getting kills, and like the one you just saw there where I got a headshot at quite a distance, and I'll tell you what guys, I really wasn't like going for a long range headshot. I was letting the aim assist do so much of the work here. The aim assist in this game is so powerful, and I've begun to just realise that I can just rely on that. Like in a lot of shooters, I actually want to make sure I'm aiming at my enemy before I start shooting, but the snap to aim targeting in this game, which is a part of the aim assist, is so damn strong that I'm like, I know I'm going to be aiming at the enemy, because that's how they've made it. They've made it so that I'm going to go straight to my target and I might as well just start shooting immediately. And I think that's why so many deaths can feel like you're fighting like a ninja with cat reflexes, because it's a bit like that scene in RoboCop where they enable that thing in his brain where he thinks he's the one doing all of the targeting and shooting, but it's actually all being assisted by a computer in his brain. And that's sort of what this is. It's like the aim assist is so powerful that it makes you think that you're aiming really quickly and taking people out with super precision, but actually the aim assist is doing so much of it. Of course, if you're a mouse and keyboard player, I can't say that to you guys. It's all on you. Your aiming prowess is not even comparable to us mere controller users. Another thing is to just expect that I can take people out at super ranges with the M4A1. So previously I might have seen someone off in distance and think there's no way I can take them out, but now I just give it a go, and so much of the time I can do it. There's a situation there where I think someone just sniped me in fair play. That was definitely a sniper advantage range. But prior to that, I was taking people out at quite a distance, and you know what guys, it wasn't hard. Again, the aim assist is so accurate and so strong. And it makes me wonder if it's one of those little things that people aren't really talking about, but is actually responsible for a lot of the sweatiness that people are feeling in this game. Because even the worst player, even someone with such poor aiming capability, is having it all done for them by the automatic aiming, the aim assist in this game. So maybe that is somewhat responsible for why everyone feels so good, because people are just snapping to you and killing you instantly. And having played a few Call of Duties recently, which all have some form of aim assist, and yep, that's great. Aim assist is necessary, to be honest, guys, when it comes to using a controller, but they've never been this strong. And my reason for thinking the aim assist is so strong in this game is because they wanted to make sure that you had a fighting chance against mouse and keyboard players, which is why I'm not 100% on board with the idea of crossplay, to the point where in this game I disabled it, because I just don't really want to do crossplay if I'm on my own. Like, the idea that my friend might have got this for the PC and I'm on PlayStation and now I have the option to play with him, that's like 2 thumbs up from me. That's amazing, that's great. But there are a few nuances to consider about the implications of crossplay. It also means that if there is indeed skill-based matchmaking going on, they can be even more aggressive with it, with crossplay, because of course your pool of players is even larger, like theoretically 3 times larger, though of course that's not necessarily accurate because all the platforms have different popularities. On a positive note, I will say I am beginning to enjoy the maps a little bit more as time goes on, which I think is because the more I play and the more I die to campers, the more I begin to realise where those camping positions are and where I am most likely to die from. So as I'm moving around the maps, I know where someone is probably aiming at me from. Like, it's not a perfect system because there are so many places they could be aiming at you from, but I'm beginning to realise there are, I suppose, super popular spots because they have such wide lines of sight. And if you know that someone's there, you can essentially aim preemptively, have the element of surprise, and take them out. So that has to be said for the game, that maybe if I'm playing these maps for several weekends, I'll become so familiar with where people like to camp that I might have a little bit of almost a sixth sense for how these maps are laid out. And it began to make me realise, like, maybe I'm taking that for granted with how the old maps were designed. So take something like COD 4, right? Those maps aren't all 3-lane, a lot of them are very complex, but I don't have any issue with them. But I think maybe a part of the reason for that is the fact that I know where people like to hide in those maps. I know where they like to try and go invisible, take dark corners, things like that. So maybe with a little bit more experience and a bit more time, I will grow to like the maps. Having said that, there have been some issues raised around spawning on these maps, and bad spawns are of course unforgivable. If I spawn in front of someone and then they kill me, yeah, there's no way of trying to put a happy spin on that. That's bad, it needs to get fixed. But something I've noticed is that the spawning seems to be much better in the maps from the beta as opposed to the new maps. And I suppose the reason for that is quite obvious, because they had so much data to look at for those maps and they've been able to adjust the spawns. But with the new maps, they really only now have the massive data from everyone playing, as opposed to before where it was just probably their internal test teams that were doing it, which, you know, is never going to be representative of the live experience where you have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people playing. So they probably have so much data now for these maps that they didn't have before. So if they can sort out the spawning, especially on Piccadilly, which luckily enough I've just not seen lately. In fact, a lot of the maps I really don't like, I haven't seen. I haven't seen the Palace map, which I felt was way too large. And I haven't seen Piccadilly, which I felt was too just crazy chaotic. I seem to be only on the maps that I actually like. Like, I'm not trying to get out of the maps that I don't like it. I seem to just be getting lucky. I wonder if they're doing anything there, like putting the maps that people enjoy more at the high frequency for some reason. It would be an issue that dealt with itself, I guess, if they had map voting. I can't work out why they don't have map voting. Maybe it's because, I don't know, there are so few maps per game mode that you could end up in a situation on Ground War where we're just playing Quarry all day long. Maybe it's that. But yeah, I don't hate the maps on this game. I don't think they are designed in a way that is conducive to high-level play, but I do think that with time I might grow to appreciate their nuances. So, as always, people, thanks very much for watching and see you next time.